If I was a big brawny guy and I had a teeny tiny proton pack, I would be much like these wrestlers. As a matter of fact, thinking about it, I'm a big brawny guy. I have a teeny tiny proton pack. Hey toy fans, so I'm here with another October toy review. I've had these guys for a while and I've really been wanting to share them. I kind of wanted to wait until October because they're Ghostbusters. It's almost like dress up in a way, and I really feel like these are like, I feel like a kindred spirit to them. I'm a big brawny guy, and I have a Spirit Halloween modded proton pack, which is smaller than the standard like 1-to-1 build. So when I was playing with these figures, I kind of felt like the same thing. I was like, these really big figures and the proton pack seems kind of small, and we'll talk about it in the toy review. And as a matter of fact, if you want to see a picture, there's me with my proton pack with Adam Savage and my full Ghostbuster gear. Yeah, so I'm a bit of a ghost head. I do that on the side. So the two figures that I picked up, and I was so surprised I was able to get them because they were a Walmart exclusive a couple years back. There were 5 total in the wave. I was only able to get 2. And I got 2 of my favorites. I didn't get all the ones I wanted, but I was able to get The Rock. So this is part of the WWE Elite collection. And it's the Ghostbusters run that they did. So I got The Rock. And I got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, if you notice, my Stone Cold package is beat up. Like, it is pretty shot. I was able to get these at discount on Amazon because the packages were all messed up. When I went back to look at them now, they're $40, $50. You can still find the 2 online, but the cost has gone up, and I was able to get mine about $20 each. So out of that run, we also had we had the Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker as a ghost, which I have never come across. Shawn Michaels, he actually came with the trap. And then we got a John Cena that came with his t-shirt. And that was one that I was trying to get, but just couldn't get a hold of. So before we get into review, if you like what you're seeing, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you know what's going on, and definitely comment down below. I love talking to you all. All right, so what do you say? Let's get into it. Okay, and this is our WWE Elite Collection Ghostbusters, and of course, The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And both of these figures are representations of The Rock and Stone Cold from their Attitude Era days. So, you know, we're not seeing the more modern Rock. We're actually seeing, you know, The Rock where he has the bull on his shoulder. He still had a lot of hair, and before he had all of his Samoan tattoos. And of course, Stone Cold during his prime. During the Attitude Era, of course. So it's weird to see these two as Ghostbusters together on the same team, even though that they did have a bit of a rivalry between one another in the ring. But I love the look of these two together. Now, of course, my Stone Cold package is pretty shot, and you know, this is the only way I was able to get them at a really big discounts because it was pretty wrecked. And the same with my Rock package itself. It's not in the best of shape. I was able to get them for $20 because of that. For me, I'm going to open these and play with them. That's not a thing that I do. I don't usually keep things too long and hard. Every once in a while I do, but it's got to be something pretty specific. So for these, I will take them out. Let's look at The Rock. Let's take a look at the back. Okay. So on the back, we got this nice kind of package art with the Undertaker here as the ghost. Of course, we get Michaels, Rock, Cena, and Stone Cold here as Ghostbusters all together as a team. And then, of course, it says, when there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you're going to call. So kind of going back to the idea of the Ghostbusters, but now in wrestling. And I dig it. Of course, we see it's a Rock there. And each one on the side would have like a little picture of them just to show like who you were getting. And that's it. Now there's not really anything else to say about the packaging. I mean, I love the drip here. I love how it comes in over the window. The packaging itself looks incredible. And if I was able to get these at a good price with the packaging all put together, I would probably have these hanging on the wall. However, mine are in pretty rough shape, and I don't really necessarily like keeping these in package. I really want to open them up and get to playing. And once we get them out of the package, we get to see both The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he does actually come with his vest, which is really, really nice. It was something that they could have easily left out, and they didn't. And they were smart for doing it. Now with this, let's take a look at The Rock here real quick. We get The Rock, and he has an actual cloth jumper here. So he has his uniform. He has knee pads and a belt. And all of it's removable, including his proton pack. Now, when I talked about the big guy in the proton pack, this is kind of what I meant. And you have to remember, I'm comparing that to what Hasbro did with the Ghostbusters run for their 6-inch line. Here, I'll show you. With the Ghostbusters 6-inch line, if you look, based on the proton pack itself, here, let's move them forward so we can see a little bit better. The Hasbro version is actually much bigger than the Mattel version. Now, this is the same version that they used, I believe, with the Ghostbusters run that they did several years ago. This is a new updated run that has to do with Hasbro and trying to get the actual screen accuracy between the two. Each one has its own unique parts. Like this one has some very uniqueness about that's very detail oriented, whereas this one's got more scale and detail orientation where it needs it there. Neither one are completely 100% accurate, but this is probably more the size that we needed for these guys. Another thing to note with the figures is this. So Dan Aykroyd is actually like 6'2", and The Rock is actually 6'5", and that's almost a whole foot higher. So these are not in scale to the 6-inch figures. These are a part of Mattel's scale figures that they do for their Elite Wrestling. So the packs themselves do look a little small when you compare it to the figure itself. Almost like they needed a little bit, they probably needed some new retooled proton packs. Now with this, and we'll actually take a look at this, they do have these removable knee pads, which is a nice touch, and they're kind of nice and rubbery. And of course, we can remove the proton pack, and it's an easy slip-on, slip-off. No waist belt on this, so we don't have to worry about it. And all in all, the pack is pretty solid. It's got a good mother plate on the back. The neutrino wand holds on it fairly nicely. Just kind of clips into place at an angle, and we get some pretty decent detail in there. I'm digging it, and it works as far as sitting on their shoulders really nicely. Then of course, each one will come with a belt. And within that belt, of course, we get a radio. We get a belt gizmo here that's just kind of sculpted on with a wire. That's nice and neat. And then we also have elbow pads that can pop off. And for those who have the Elite Collection wrestlers, this is not an uncommon thing that Mattel does with having the elbow pads and everything become removable. And then last but not least, his jumper is also removable. And of course, Attitude Era Rock right there. We got his jumper right here. We can put that off to the side. If you really want to get kind of the Attitude Era, you can Flip these back on. One on each arm here. And let's get his knee pads back on. And you've got the wrestler version of The Rock himself. And so, you've got the Ghostbusters stuff left over here. And then if you just want to have The Rock as The Rock, you have it available right here. I love the Ecto Green that they have for the Team Bring It. And then, of course, his bull on the side. But then on the back, they've got the Ecto Green bull with the red eyes, almost kind of reminiscent of the Zool or even Vince Clortho Terror Dogs. And it's nice. I think it's a really good look for him. Let's check out Stone Cold. All right, Attitude Style Rivalry right there. Stone Cold Steve Austin 316. And of course, they've even gone in to put his tattoo over there, which is really nice. And once you drop the gear, you've got it to where you also have the wrestlers. And this is something that I think Mattel was smart about, because we've got the Ghostbusters, but now we also have the wrestlers. So once they drop their uniforms, they can go at it, battle one another, and you've got just a couple of WWE Elite figures here, which works. And then of course you can, change up their posability. You can fit the neutrino wands in their hand, and they're scaled, fairly nice, that they hold on to them fairly well. They seem a little small, however, their hands are pretty big because of the stuff that they pick up. One thing to note, this jacket does not fit over his jumper, and the proton pack will not fit over the jacket. So once he's in wrestling mode, you can put that on. Otherwise, you're going to be kind of left with his vest just hanging out here and there. Not a big fan of that. However, in this instance, I'm fine with it, because if I wanted him as a wrestler, I definitely don't want to forget that. All in all, these figures I think are awesome. They have quickly become a couple of my absolute favorites out of my collection, and I really dig them because, if you're a fan of Ghostbusters like me, these are a lot of fun. If you're a wrestling fan, these things are a lot of fun. I love The Rock. I love Stone Cold Steve Austin. These are available on market. You can find them on Amazon, and they're starting to command a bit of a premium as far as price. And I think the closer we're going to get to Ghostbusters Afterlife, the more money you're going to start looking at paying on these. Remember, these were from a couple years ago, and they were a Walmart exclusive. So if you're going out to get these, good luck with the toy hunt. This episode of T-Raycon was sponsored by Marvin Dog Media. To learn more about Marvin Dog Media, visit www.marvindogmedia.com. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below to let YouTube know that you like what I'm making. And be sure to hit that bell notification so you get updates to future content.